All right, I'll say good day to you. We will begin with this transmission, which we have called the 3 behaviors of connection. And they are timing, communication, and action. Allow us to elaborate. This information is not only for the purpose of strengthening connections between each and every one of you as humans upon the earth, but also between the humans of earth and the hybrid beings that will eventually come to live among you. Because there are certain kinds of vibrational frequencies, certain states of being, certain energies that are very important for establishing strong connections between the hybrids when they eventually come to live among you upon the earth. The idea of tapping into timing of communication allows you to begin to be able to sense when the time may be appropriate to establish a connection, looking at all factors, not only in your society, but in their society, looking at the opportunities that come to you through synchronicity to show you when the timing is more appropriate than other times, to not be too eager, to not be too desperate, to allow yourself to relax into the flow of the timing that is essential for clear connection and communication between you and the hybrid beings. And again, this is something that you can begin to hone your senses on with respect to connections between each other, is to never be too ready to push an idea, an agenda, an idea of information to one another, but to allow synchronicity to show you when it has automatically set up the most appropriate and best possible timing in which information can be exchanged when all parties involved in that communication are receptive and open and willing to ponder and absorb and consider the information being shared that is representative of the excitement and passions of each individual involved in the cross communication. So being more sensitive to the timing of a communication will be essential not only for your own future on earth in terms of the communications that you may feel are necessary to share with one another to propel you forward in a positive direction, the sharing of knowledge, the suggestions of different pathways that you may take without the insistence or expectation that they must be listened to. Synchronicity will provide the perfect timing for this, and you will be able to sense it more and more if you relax into the way things naturally and automatically unfold in your society. The second part, the communication itself, the willingness to reach out, to share, to offer suggestions, alternatives, points of view, the idea of paths that others might take, but again, upon which you have no insistence that they must take, communication of essential and vital information that deals with connection, expansion, positivity, creativity, and unconditional love will be of primary importance when synchronicity has shown you what the timing is for such exchange. Then the willingness to communicate, to share perspectives, to see from each other's points of view will be of critical value in moving forward in your reality to build and shift and navigate yourselves toward a more positive version of Earth. Gathering the information you believe might be essential to share, the perspectives that you believe will be the most beneficial in being of service to one another, and in that communication, the asking of questions of how the other side of the communication might deem necessary information to be given to them, might ask for certain things to be shared, might suggest certain things for you to ponder. So it is the telling and the asking in the communication, as you say in your ancient language, the getting to know you, getting to know each other aspect of communication, really digging down and understanding that everyone has a valid point of view based on where they are coming from, and that the communication must not have any hidden agendas or any kind of desperation or need to force someone to see the point of view that you are espousing, but simply being offered in service as a suggestion for all to consider, to see if it is part and parcel and in alignment and in harmony with their path, their chosen path, and to implement and apply it where appropriate in their own estimation. So the synchronous timing of delivering the information, the back and forth getting to know you of the communication, and truly investigating the perspectives of each and what they bring into the communication, to get to know them much more deeply, to allow them to know you much more deeply, to create and forge common ground so you can move together in harmony, move upward and expand and move forward in harmony together, and build a more positive reality by shifting to the version of Earth that would support all of the dialogue and all of the suggestions and ideas and creativity and love that would come out, that would spill out of that equal communication, equal interest, equal curiosity, equal inventiveness, equal creativity, and equal love. And then, finally, the third principle of action. As we have often said, physical realities, language is the language of action, the language of doing. Words are not enough. Communication is fine, as we have just outlined. But the activity of following through, of doing what you say you will do, of supporting the whole in a variety of ways through the actions that you participate in, that boost and form the forward momentum, that demonstrate your willingness to commit to the ideas you have shared and the automatic timing of synchronicity. The actions you can take in your imagination, physicalize them to the best you can, don't leave them in your imagination. Show each other and show the hybrid beings that you are willing to commit through physical action to what it is you have discussed, to be able to forge and build a different world, a world that is truly physically representative of what you have all shared in your communication. The willingness to participate, the willingness to be the reality that you say that you prefer to experience, to be the change you wish to see in your world, as you often say. Through those actions, through that commitment, through the willingness to demonstrate physically what you have talked about, then each other and the hybrids will know that you are serious, that you are committed, that this truly is representative of your passion, that it is truly representative of who you are and your core vibration. And so together, with the application of synchronous timing, the willingness of pure exchange and curiosity in your communication to get to know one another, and the willingness to take the actions to back up what you have said, to demonstrate physically by showing that you support what it is you have discussed, will navigate you strongly in the direction, vibrationally, of more connection and expansion with each other, and more connection and expansion with the hybrids when they come to live among you in the near future, in the years ahead. So we thank you for allowing us to share this particular approach to the idea of forming the behaviors of connection and expansion to one another and to those with whom you will be interacting should you continue on this vibrational course. We thank you for this opportunity, and in return for the gift you have given us of interacting with you, we ask you now, in what way may we be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish. All right, good day. Today's transmission is called The Real Definition of Karma. What is karma? For a long time, people on your planet have misunderstood the actual meaning of that word. It is an ancient Sanskrit word, but most people on your planet have come to think of it as some sort of retribution or punishment or comeuppance or just desserts, so to speak. Someone might do something to you that you feel hurt you, and then maybe later something happens to them that they don't find pleasant, and many people on your planet go, karma, they got what they deserved. That is not the meaning of karma at all in its original form. The Sanskrit word karma simply means action. That's literally what the word means, action. And as we have said many times, actions are the language of physical reality. So this is understood in ancient times as the idea of the actions you take to rebalance yourself if you find that you have taken some action that brings you out of balance. So it's not an issue of punishment, it's not an issue of retribution or comeuppance or deservability in that sense. Yes, your actions have consequences. Of course they do. What you put out is what you get back. That's the law. But the idea is that karma is really just a guiding mechanism, a mechanism to allow you to be more aware of when you are out of alignment with your true vibration, so that you can take whatever actions are required, whatever karma is necessary for you to bring yourself back into alignment with your core true frequency, your core vibration. So it's important now, in this day and age of clarification, of definitions, to let go of the idea that karma has anything at all to do with retribution or punishment, and allow yourself to begin to take and use it in a more conscious and responsible way to constantly guide yourself in the recognition and the discernment that you may have created a situation or a circumstance within yourself by some actions that may have moved you out of alignment with your integrity, with who you really prefer to be, and use that awareness to take the actions necessary to bring yourself back into alignment. That is why we have often said that as soon as you recognize you're out of alignment and choose to bring yourself back into alignment, choose to explore yourself and let go of those things that have brought you out of alignment and allow yourself to go back into alignment, you have erased your karma. Again, not meaning the idea of punishment, but the idea of the willingness to take the actions necessary to right yourself, to guide yourself, to course correct yourself through life and bring yourself back into alignment. Now, this is why what we have just described is the answer to when people ask, well, this person, no names shall be given, does things that are very much out of alignment, very negative, and yet they never seem to really reap any consequence of this. They don't seem to be subject to the so-called law of karma. That's, again, because karma is not a punishment. The idea may sometimes be that a person's belief systems that are negatively oriented may allow them to experience some negative things in turn, but that's because they're holding on to the negative beliefs that caused them to go out of alignment to begin with, and are still holding on to them, which can attract more negativity as a downward spiral into their lives. However, there are people on your planet, you generally label them as either sociopathic or psychopathic, that simply do not have the awareness within themselves because they've never been taught to,
or simply have some particular physical reason for disconnecting from that aspect of their consciousness, so that they do not have the correcting mechanism. They do not know how to take the actions that would bring them back into alignment, because the belief system that they have developed within themselves allows them to believe they are not doing anything that is out of alignment, and therefore they see no reason to activate the karmic actions that would bring them back into alignment, because they don't believe they're out of alignment. So again, this is why some people may continue to do very negative things and never seem in any way, shape, or form to be held responsible for these things. Nothing bad ever seems to happen to them, as people on your planet say. This compartmentalization of beliefs and the belief that you're not doing anything negative because of the lack of connection to the karmic actions necessary to bring you back into alignment is the reason why this can occur. So it's all about allowing people to start understanding, reconnecting, and letting go of the idea that karma has anything at all to do with blame or punishment, and it's simply a device that allows you to take the actions necessary to be who you truly are, to recognize your core vibration, and to bring yourself back into alignment with it. This allows you to begin to really take full responsibility for the things that you create and perceive in your physical reality experience. And as we have said, responsibility is nothing more than the ability to respond. So karma, being defined as action, is the heightened ability to respond to misalignment by taking the actions necessary to bring yourself back into alignment. That's all karma is, but it is a very powerful tool if used in that way, in its original intention. So allow yourselves to practice letting go of any definition of karma that has anything at all to do with the idea of comeuppance or retribution or revenge, and allow yourself to bring it closer to home as a device that is actively participating in the creation of your life and your reality experience, and can be used every day in the most positive ways to make sure that you are course correcting and allowing yourself to move forward in the most aligned way to your true core being. Now, we thank you for allowing us to provide you with a more modern and updated, and yet at the same time ancient definition, the original definition of karma. And in return for the gift you are giving us in interacting with all of you, I ask you now, in what ways may we be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish.